Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Attack on Titan Season 4. We are on episode 15, and in the last episode, well, it did kick off like I thought that it would. You know, we had, of course, Levi versus Zeke again, and this time Levi's not playing around. He's torturing him and everything. We got a little look, sort of like Zeke kind of had a sort of flashback as to like almost like, how the fuck did I end up here? In this situation right now. He was talking about someone called Mr. Cassava, I believe, if that's how you pronounce it, which I'm guessing is where whoever it is kind of taught him about the Titans and everything like that, which is why Eren said that Zeke knows more about Titans than Malians do. So it's, you know, hopefully we get some like information about Mr. Cassava in this episode, and we had Eren, Armin, and Mikasa at the start of last episode with a scene that like it was such a great scene, and one that I just wasn't expecting to go down the way that it did. But, you know, as I've said previously, I think it's all a ploy for Eren to get his friends to hate him, or at least to create some separation. You know, so I think he was gifting sort of, you know, doing what Pixar said and telling a good lie, but mixing some truth in with it. Just like the idea of, you know, Mikasa, like her Ackerman blood is basically kicked in to feel like she needs to protect Eren. That's kind of something that I feel like is true, because it would just make sense, I believe. You know, but regardless, it was just a really good scene, really good episode all around. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to talk about anything else. I think we're just going to get an episode 15 and see what we get. So as always, the reaction will be here on YouTube, but for whatever reason, if it gets taken down for copyright in the future, I will re-upload this as a discussion-only video, and the link to the reaction will be in the description below. And as always, the link to the full length to this reaction will be in the description below as well. So if you want to watch my full reaction to this episode and not just a 10-minute cut version, then the offer is there for you. But yes, that's what we talk about. So we're going to get an episode 15, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Straight into it.
お前はここから出たいと思わないか？
うん、出たい。
ああ、エルディア人か。
Jesus.
私たちは外出許可を取っているのですよ。
殺戮の限りを尽くした悪魔の末裔がまたガキ作って繁殖しやがって。
これが外の世界だ。この世界が嫌なら変えなければならない。ジーク、お前がみんなを救うんだ。
Soul salvation.
この子供たちの中から私の後継者を。
ええ、一人選ばれます。またイエーガーか。他の子はみんな幼くも必死に名誉マーレ人の称号を得ようと努めているのに、奴にはその気概がどうも見受けられない。
訓練はどうだ、ジーク。
Oh, was Mr. Cassava the previous Beast Titan?
でもお前ならきっと戦士になれる。父さん、母さん、今晩もジークを頼むよ。
ああ。
Social dance club. That'll be the insurrectionists and stuff.
1200年前に起きたラーゴの惨劇。何十万ものマーレ人がエルディア帝国に殺された。さらにラーゴから逃れた難民は道なき荒野をさまよった。
Is this why Zeke decided to go with
人がいっぱい死んだん
his
でしょ。
grandparents?
ジークは戦士になってマーレのために戦いたいのか。
Fair. Is that fucking the one dude? Magath?
今日は早く終わったんだ。だから。
おお、そうか。じゃあたくさん勉強できるな。つまり、ラーゴの惨劇は存在しなかったんだ。モンテの3階もバレの3家も全てマーレに都合のいい作り話に過ぎない。
He's just getting nothing but this story from both sides constantly, you know.
マーレは祖国に全てを捧げる覚悟のある者を求めているのだ。
おい、 魚君、そのボール投げてくれないか。
This may end up becoming his like father figure almost, you know, like somewhere he can actually play catch with, and that's why he's.
まだ小さいのにやるじゃないか。ほら。ナイスキャッチ。
赤い腕章、あなたは。
君たちが目指すマーレの戦士だ。トム・クサバー。本業は巨人学の研究者だ。
Says the Beast Titan's not
ジーク・イエーガーです。
really good in war,
ジーク。
but
どう
Zeke.
も君は筋がいいな。きっとピッチャーに向いてるぞ。
どうなってるんだグライス。ジークを戦士にできなければ計画は失敗だぞ。
だがフクロウが言うには巨人の継承者選びに介入するにはジーク自身が好成績を残さないと。
This is why. It makes it seem like he was being used
ジ
by
ー
them.
ク、お前ならできる。父さんと母さんの子供なんだからな。
Ah, Grisha, man.
こと言わないで。あの子は一生懸命頑張ったでしょ。
そんなに戦士になりたいようには見えなかったがな。無理もない。君は戦士なんてバカらしかったんだ。マーレのために寿命を縮め、他国を侵略するなんてバカらしくてやってられないよな。
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective
サ
from
ワ
him.
ーさんはなんで戦士に。
巨人の謎を知りたかったからさ。私は研究者だからね。そんなことだから、戦争じゃからっきしの役立たずだ。
Ah, that's why, okay.
だが、巨人の神秘の前に憎しみや争いもくだらないよ。この世界じゃ珍しいまともな者同士なのさ。
Wow.
ついに尻尾を掴んだぞ。エルディア付近派とか名乗ってやがるらしい。フクロウとかいう内通者が組織したようだ。すでにいくつか目星はついている。
Owl before.
あとは証拠を揃えていけば時間の問題だな。
Oh, man.
お母さん、もう危ないことはしないで。
お前は今まで父さんから何を学んだんだ。誰かが立ち上がらない限り、みんなずっとこの狭い壁の中で惨めに死んでいくんだぞ。
そのためなら僕はフェイおばさんみたいになってもいいの。
ジーク！そもそもフェイが殺されたのはこの世界が狂っているからだ。強いエルディアをマーレから取り返し、当たり前の権利を勝ち取るんだ。
You can't put that kind of pressure on a kid, man.
親が不権派だったなんて。このままじゃ親族全員楽園送りに。
Unless he can do
サワーさ
something.
ん、キャッチボールしてくれてありがとう。
Maybe he goes.
じゃあ行くね。
Maybe Kaseva goes like.
かかってなさい。もうこれしかない。
Ah, right, okay.
そんなできないよ。
ジーク、君は両親からひどいことをされた。君を愛さなかった。ジーク、君は悪くない。君は賢くていい子だ。
Damn, dude.
もう少し手加減してくれよ、ジーク。
ああ、もう年寄りにはきついか。
He must be coming at the end of his cycle at this point.
もうすぐ継承の任期を終える頃だ。最後に集大成を発表できそうだ。
ああ、記憶を操作するとかいうあれ？
記憶どころじゃない。体の構造も変えてしまうことができるんだ。当時の王が始祖の巨人の力でユミルの民の体の設計図を書き換えたんだよ。まさに
Interesting.
私たちユミルの民はどこにいようと始祖の巨人の一部のようなものなんだ。
That's crazy.
どうしてまた悪魔を生んだ？
始祖の巨人ならユミルの民が子供を産めなくすることもできるのかな。この世から巨人は消滅している。
Fuck.
世界は巨人の脅威に怯えたり苦しめられたりせずに済む。
Damn.
クサバーさん、
I didn't think like
ま
that.
してな若く愚かだった私は腕章を外し、エルディア人であることを隠したまま妻と暮らし子を作った。妻はマーレ人だったんだ。私がエルディア人だと知った妻は 自分と息子の喉を裂いて死んだ。私が戦士になった理由は贅沢な自殺の方法に飛びついたに過ぎない。の13年間は巨人の研究に没頭し、君と出会いキャッチボールをして亡き息子を君に求め、巨人の力で自分の罪から逃れようとした。私なんてこの世に生まれてこなければ。
獣の巨人は俺が継承す
See
る。
that through.
マーレのためじゃない。
What the hell, dude?
世界を救ってみせるよ。世界の人々を巨人の恐怖から解き放ち、エルディア人を苦しみから解放するんだ。
図らずともジーク、それは君だからこそ可能になる。王家の血を引く巨人であれば、始祖の巨人の継承者と接触することにより、その能力を引き出すことができるはずだ。しかし、
That's what they need.
力をいわば君の役割は鍵だ。
Fucking hell, dude.
始祖を託すんだ。君ならきっと見つけられる。
To euthanize the Titans. That is
私はい
crazy.
つでも見守っているからな。
Fuck. Fuck, dude.
エレン・イエーガーだと。そのエレンから父親の話を何か聞いたか。
確か今は行方不明で医者をやってたと聞きました。
エレン、俺たちは被害者だ。お前はあの父親に洗脳されている。
It's crazy how, like,
い
this
つ
is.
か必ず救い出してや
Yeah,
るからな。
this is insane.
少し父親と似てきたようだ。
These shit.
エルディア人安楽死計画に賛同してくれるのか。
親父が壁の王家一家を皆殺しにした時の記憶だ。感触も残っている。その子たちが生きていれば、始祖の巨人は王家の手に渡り、子供たちの死が俺たちを生かした。いいや、親父は間違っている。そしてその親父に育てられた俺も間違いだった。この世に生まれないこと、これ以上の救済はない。俺はやる。俺の手で巨人が支配した2000年の歴史にケリをつける。その日を迎えるまで進み続ける。
He's like shocked that Eren just completely agreed with it all, you know?
その通りだ。やろう。
But yeah, 2,000 years in the future.
でも交わしたいところだが、まあ今俺たちが接触するのはまずい。
Yeah, they don't know what will happen, right?
代わりにこれを受け取ってくれ。必ずみんなを救ってあげよう。
Damn.
唯一の救い、エルディアの安楽死。
自分の体が咀嚼される音を聞きながら死ぬわけだが、お前にしちゃ随分と安らかな死に方だろう。
奪ってない。救ってやったんだ。
また足が伸びてきたみてえだな。
クソ坊さん、見ててくれよ。
Oh, fuck! Jesus Christ, dude! Fuck! What the fuck just happened, dude? Oh, man. Okay, episode 15. Fucking hell, man. The way that ended, dude. I mean, I hope Levi got off there. I fucking hope he did, because that's the thing, is like, Levi's like insane, like you know how unkillable he is. But the one thing, like, I don't think he was ever even anticipating was that Zeke would literally on purpose pull that rope. But I mean, on the other hand, what does that mean for the plan? If he kills himself, they can't go through with it. That was nuts. It's a nuts way to end it, but it just leaves so many questions. Dude, we've got fucking 20 minutes left. How do you wrap up this in 20 minutes? Because this is the thing. This episode was so good. It's literally put. It's crazy because this one episode basically just told us that Zeke is actually he was the most important character in this story. Like, what? And that his, like... I just don't know, because for like a character, like, I don't know if he just, like, if he could not take the torture anymore, or that he knew that he wasn't going to get out of Levi's grasp, so he just had to kill himself to avoid it going to someone that wouldn't understand, or anyone. So he just decided to end it there. So in the end, something that, like, you know, Zeke's entire thing to be... It's weird because it's like a selfish, selfless kind of thing. The whole time what he's been trying to do. To kill himself stops that plan from happening. They can't do it now. They need royal blood in order to do it, so... It's going to end up being Historia then, isn't it? Because we haven't even been to Historia yet. So it's the thing of, like... The hope lies on whether or not Zeke told Eren about how all of this, you know, about the changing of it, like being able to change anatomy and stuff. I mean, the fact that you actually went through that, you know, he talked about the plan with him, is, you know, Eren clearly understands. But I guess it was like an idea of Zeke being, as long as Zeke is around, like, then there's other options as well, you know? Fuck. It's crazy how one episode can change the perspective of something so quickly. Because now I'm like... I think I'm on side with them, you know? This show is insane. We're on the fucking second last episode and, like, this comes out. Like, that fucking bombshell just dropped. And now it's like, I don't know how I can't just back that plan. Because surely it's like the only way. I made a joke like some fucking, you know, some episodes back where I was saying, unless like the whole plan is to eradicate Eldia completely, and I said something immediately after it saying, but I don't know how they fucking do that. Like, they're not just going to go around killing everyone, are they? But even then, how would that even change the fact? Because you would have to kill himself afterwards. You would just literally have to make sure everyone was eradicated, and the only way you can do that is through changing the anatomy of, like, Eldian females so that they can't give birth, or males that, you know, I don't know, don't produce, like, sperm. But I just find myself thinking, like, I mean, I have to back that plan, because there's no other way that doesn't, like, there's always the thing is if they don't do that, there's always the possibility of shit, a cycle repeating, and it's just nuts, isn't it? I hope Levi got off there, man. This episode laid out perfectly, like, that, like, all of the reasoning you ever need to change your opinion on a character. And I mean, it's not that like you know, I never really, like, it's not like I ever hated Zeke or anything like that, but there was like that, just, you know, it's so interesting when you just get perspectives from different characters, man, because when at the end of season 3, when we got Grisha's writings and everything like that, like, he had some, like, regret about the way that he brought up Zeke and everything like that. Like, there was a quote that was from the book that said that, like, he was like, you know, it was like, he said it's something like, maybe it was wrong of me, you know, to put, like, you know, to push ideals upon your children, right? But clearly this is something that he never left. Like, Grisha was like that even at the very end when he was with Eren, you know, for the final, and he was like, you know what I mean, like, when he realized that you know, that Carla had died and everything like that, and he came back and he found, like, Eren, and he's just, you know, he's telling him everything that he needs to do, and you know, Grisha never changed. You know, those, like, moments that he, like, all the way back in episode 1, he's always, like, you know, they even bring up the fact that he's always working, so that never changed. He did the same thing that he did with his new family as he did with his older one. That he never stopped. It was just like a one-way train that didn't have any brakes. Regardless of whether or not he was regretting it, it didn't matter, because he kept going forward anyway, because he had to. But in a way, like, for how, like, bad Grisha was in this light, like, everything had to happen the way that it did in order for there to even be a, like, to even, for this opportunity to even present itself. Everything had to happen the way that it did, you know, because if with Grisha being a bad parent, you know, it pushed Zeke away to the point where he found solace in a father figure in Mr. Cassava, and that they would play baseball together. And, you know, he opened up about his the fact that once he took his armband off and pretended to not be Eldian, and then he had a wife with a Malian woman, and they had a child, but as soon as they found out, she killed herself and her son. Fucking hell, man. And that he kind of found solace in Zeke almost, you know what I mean? So, like, they were, you know, Zeke was a son for Mr. Cassava, and Mr. Cassava was a father for Zeke. So all, like, that had to happen in order for Zeke to get the information about Titans, and, you know, get that, and that to be teaching, you know, from him. And all those, like, experiences, like, you know, basically saying that, you know, the talk about the pandemic and stuff, and that, you know, the disease had just vanished. That mixed with the dude saying, like, why are you pumping out more devils, just clearly just brought up an idea in Zeke's mind that if the anatomy can be changed, can we make it so that Eldian people cannot, like, just can't, they can't conceive. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think how everything is turned on like a dime, because all the way up until this episode, I've only ever felt it as almost like, it's like Paradise was a place that, they were away from civilization and everything else. But as soon as, Grisha got a hold of the Founding Titan and that, everything changed. And then we end up getting this whole thing of like the whole war's going, like the whole world's going to war with Paradise. And it was like Paradise was the little island of people that are just going to get bombarded like what seems like for nothing, but because of Grisha being the way that he is, having the attack titan and everything like that, like those things that seem so righteous at the time now don't, and it's put like this sort of like, because of that, like it obviously went into Eren obviously talking with Zeke and Yelena and everything, and obviously coming to terms with his plan, that the Jaegerists themselves, I'm convinced the Jaegerists themselves I don't think they are aware of what the plan is. I think they just think of Eren as the savior that's going to fucking destroy the world so that they're the only ones left, almost. At least that's what I think Flock thinks anyway. But the rest of them, like, by proxy, I don't think the Jaegerists actually know about the whole euthanization plan. And that's why Eren can't tell anyone. Because there's, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna... I don't know. I don't want to say that it's like kind of like it's without like the realm possibility that some people will be fine with it, like I feel like some people will, but that's the thing. I don't think that there's any way you can say that every single Eldian will be fine with this, And also, to what degree does this and that changing anatomy even work? Like, when the king, or when like the royal family would affect the memories of the people within the walls, it wasn't like every single Eldian ever. It was just those within the walls. So, like, how do you? There's got to be still Eldians kicking around in I mean, we know there is, like in Mali. So, there would have to be like over there. People would have to be within a certain range. It's going to be just like one of those things that how do you truly know that every single Eldian's been changed, Because from like the outside looking in, there's nothing really different or discernible about what an Eldian looks like. They still just look like a human. So it's not like, you can tell. It's something that would be changed inside with the organs and things like that, the reproduction like organs and stuff. So I don't know, but like I feel like it's the only it seems like the only way to avoid any real conflict, I mean, the conflict still might happen regardless of whether or not, they manage to euthanize Eldians. But I don't know. I just don't see another way to where like you can't just, it's fucking hell. I don't know. This episode has just completely like stumped me in my thoughts about the show. once again, it's fucking... It's it's brought something into the fold that I just never ever saw coming. It's showing Zeke in a light that is so understandable that it's like, you know, it's crazy. Like with his parents on one side, like tell him about the propaganda on one side, and you know, the grandparents like on the other, and that's like all he was getting. You know, he was just completely like sort of just disregarded to have like an actual childhood. Grisha is going crazy, man. Thought he was better than that. I mean, I guess he learned, because it wasn't like he was bad with Eren, you know? He was only like really crazy that one time when he was like, when he injected him and he was like, you have to, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like, remember, you have to go to the you know, keep this key. Remember, you've got to get to that cellar. You've got to know. So I guess now it's just a case of, because there's no way Zeke has survived that. Did we learn like how long it would take after a Titan shifter has died that an Eldian born receives the power? Like, do we know that? Because I don't know if it's like immediately once he dies, it's like, right, the next born gets it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the selection process. Because there's no way he survived that. God. It's like the visceral nature of it as well. Like the sheer like the sheer like quickness of it. We've gotten an episode that makes Zeke like so likable and understandable, and then he's dead like that. Fuck. Like the difference between last episode and this episode is like, to switch a perspective like that. Fucking hell, man. This show is unreal. Fucking hell. I'm sorry I'm not like talking much and like, I don't know, theorizing that what comes next. I don't even know what else to talk about other than the fact that like I'm just, you know, because I'm sitting here stumped and I'm just like, because my like a perspective shift has taken place like instantaneously, and now it's just a case of like, I'm just like, knowing all of that, I don't see an alternative option, and that what Zeke and Eren's plan is like probably the best we'll ever have, you know, because how else do we just stop this cycle of Titans and Eldians and all of that? How? Because that's the thing. It's not a case of killing Eldians, right? It's just changing it so that they die out naturally. You know, it's just they can't have children. I love the little talk with Eren and Zeke as well. In the flashback, where he's like basically looking a hell of a lot like the dad, because he does. He really does, that long hair when it's down. And basically saying like how Eren comes out and agrees like immediately, and Zeke can't believe it, that he actually tears up, because it's like, this is it. This is how we do it. We've got everything we need to be able to do this. And basically like throwing in that little quote as well of like 2,000 years of this, because the title of the first episode of the whole series is "To You in 2,000 Years." The one thing I'm interested in is who is it saying that to you in 2,000 years? Who is it, is that Ymir saying that? Because remember, we've always had this, the thing is with time in this show, the one thing that was interesting was that, these foreseeable, Eren to some degree has had foresight before he even got a time. It was always meant to happen this way. And, like I was talking about before in this discussion about how it seems as though things had to happen in a certain way for this to be the case. It was always going to happen this way. It's like time locked. Everything was time locked until you had Kruger basically say the cycle needs to break. But then, fuck. This episode is just completely just stumped us, It's mad. "20 minutes left. 20 minutes, man. How do you there's no way, surely, that you can wrap it up in one episode. Unless it's a double-length feature thing. Because, how do you... There's been no announcement that it will be, double the length or anything, right? They've put this at, the show, the season, this season anyway, is, season 4, the final season, right? But that doesn't mean it's the final thing. I've been told before that they were going to do 16 episodes for the season and then decide what to do with for the rest. So that maybe there is a movie afterwards that will just, wrap everything up or what, but... I don't know, but yeah, this was a fantastic episode, a great flashback episode for Zeke. I'm just I just can't believe how Zeke was the most important character in this whole thing. That is, if everything goes to plan, everything of Zeke's plan goes through, then it would make him the most important character in the show, right? In the story, because without him it would never have come to peace if it does end up happening that way. The only thing that changes is why does Eren need to become a villain? Why does he need to play the villain? Why does he need to keep them away? Why does he need to push his friends away? I don't know. I've got nothing else to really talk about. I just tell you what this does do though. With Zeke dying there, that means everyone who's drunk the wine and everything like that, they're all fine now, right? I wonder how that affects things. With him dying, like, does it make the wine and all that obsolete? Because I hope it's not going to be a thing where, like, a baby is born with the Beast Titan's power and just, like, you know, starts wailing on because it's just come out the womb and, like, you know, all these Titans sprout up and stuff. Fucking hell. Imagine that. Jesus. I guess they'll be able to tell where the Beast Titan is if that is what happened. But then a baby would have to be born that is Eldian on Paradise in order for that to be the case. Because again, range and stuff, isn't it? So. Oh man. Yeah. Crazy. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. Like, this wasn't an episode that was like bathed in theory, really. Like, there wasn't like I can't really theory craft an episode like this because it's not adding. This was an episode that gave answers. It didn't ask questions, so nothing else changes. Like in what I thought was, you know, a solid proof theory. Now it's just, it feels so straightforward now, you know? Like, now we know Zeke's plan and Eren wants to go through with it. I feel like it's like a solid plan that isn't, you know what I mean? It's as humane as you could make it, really. Right? It's as humane as you could do, basically get, like... Yeah, it's as humane as you can extinct a species, extinct a race. It's not like, you know, it's not like they were changing the anatomy and then going out and killing everyone, because they'll just die of natural causes anyway. The only thing you would have to really consider is that, because, I mean, that's what Zeke said. Zeke, I don't know if Eren agreed with the idea of just letting them die out after the anatomy's changed, because the one thing that you do need to consider is that Eren doesn't have long left to live, and somebody needs to take the role of the founding titan somewhere. And how do you ensure that the new founding titan doesn't just change their anatomy back? You know what I mean? They can't. Surely they can't end the story like that, because it will feel so unsatisfying, because it'll be like, right, we'll start the cycle again. They cannot do that, surely. Yeah, so I don't know if Eren and Zeke really planned that out together and just let them die out rather than kill them, because that's the thing that's really that I'm really, I don't know, like the whole thing with Eren pushing his friends away, I thought was because he's trying to make himself a villain more and more, trying to push his friends away so that he can become a martyr for the world to fight. I mean, maybe that is still part of the plan. Maybe... Actually, no, wait a minute. Maybe that's... Yeah, this is why he can't tell anyone. Because once he's made the change, if he tells anyone, then they're going to have information... Like the next founding titan would have the information to change anatomy back. The idea of not telling anyone is because only Zeke and Eren should really be allowed to know that, right? So that no one can change it back in the future. So yeah, maybe it is so that, yeah, I think that's what the plan is then. I think so that making Eren becoming a martyr, I think, is still part of the plan. I still think that's a thing. He will change the anatomy of aliens. And then it'll be a thing of trying to bring the world together in peace to face a common enemy in Eren. That's I feel like that can still be a part of the plan after the whole thing, because then it means that once the anatomy's changed, there's still going to be a fight, but if Eren can somehow make it so that his friends and everything like that is kept safe by trying to kill him, you know what I mean, like to find that common enemy in Eren, so that there can be peace for all of the Eldians that are left, then maybe that is the whole plan. But anyway, yeah, I mean that's all I've got. I don't think there's anything else to really delve into. But I just really enjoyed that episode, and it's one of those episodes that things will never be the same again. I'll never think about the show in the same way again after this episode. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's almost like what it's like after every fucking episode. But the thing is, we're so close to the fucking end that the thing is with mystery in shows is that it becomes a bittersweet thing where the reason why you're so intrigued and love it so much is because you keep, all these theory crafting and getting involved and thinking about what could be and everything with the mysteries and the questions that it asks. But then coming up to the end, you're starting to get all the answers, and it's like fuck. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a bittersweet thing regardless when the show ends, because it's been so fucking, it's so amazing, man. It is without a doubt one of the best animes of all time. It's one of the best shows of all time. Never mind just anime. I'm talking fucking, it's just so it's so good. But yeah, I don't have anything else to really talk about. So if I have missed anything, I apologise. But yeah, that's the end of that. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've looked at certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that would be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards, like early access. $5 a month gives you access to shows a week early. There's the full-length tier, which gives you access to the full reaction to all the shows that I do. And then there's the exclusive tier, which gives you access to full-length movie reactions and everything like that. So if you like movies, that's the one for you. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.